Welcome to the Car Guys. This week a full garage update, which many of you have been asking for, and also why I am no longer getting a 488 Pista. Well, since I'm on a relatively long car journey, what I thought I'd do is go through all the cars in the garage. Am I going to keep them? Are they also going to go? Are there going to be new cars coming in? And just give you a full update, really, of the garage. It's something you've been asking for a lot in the comments, and we haven't really done one for about a year. And a lot has happened in a year. Now, you already know that the F40 has gone. Many of you simply could not believe that someone could get rid of such an iconic car, and I do hear you, obviously, I'm not a monster, but the time was right. I'd had it for over 5 years, I'd had loads of fun in it, done quite a few miles. You have to bear in mind that F40s are not super rare. In theory, there's still at least 1,300 of them on the road. I'll always be able to find an F40. You might have to pay a little bit more, might have to pay a little bit less, but there'll always be an F40 around. So the F40's gone. What many of you will not realise is that also the light car company Rocket has gone. That might be a bit of a shock given how much I love that car, but what I found is that I just wasn't driving it. The conditions that you needed to drive that car were so specific that they very rarely occurred in the United Kingdom. I took it on a track day at Goodwood, and I was shocked to find that actually they wouldn't let me out on track in it because it was an open-wheeled car. They said you couldn't take an open-wheeled car out on track with closed-wheel cars, which just was ludicrous because it meant that I couldn't enjoy it. It deserves to be on the track because it's just an absolute bonkers machine. I suddenly thought, well, hang on, when am I ever going to be able to drive this car? And also the battery kept going flat because it's only got a motorcycle battery on it. If you left the lights on for just 2 minutes, they would basically be dead as a doornail. So it's a little bit more maintenance required to keep it going. But out of all the cars I've had, smiles per mile, that was one of the best. But that one's out of the garage too, and I've not announced that until this moment. So the Audi RS6, that has gone. Car friend Tom sold that for me. I've also sold the Volkswagen Phaeton. I did love that car, but again, it had to stay outside most of the time, and there are other cars that I preferred to drive. That frees up a few slots in the garage, so let's go through what's left and what I'm intending to do with them. First of all, the Porsche 911 GT3 Touring, the 991.2. That's the car that we're in right now. This car, ladies and gentlemen, is going nowhere. This car I am keeping because I absolutely love it. It might not be the ideal spec, but I've made some changes to it. You'll have seen the houndstooth interior, which is incredible. I've added some decals. This is an awesome car. The more I drive it, the more it loosens up, the more fun you have, the more character comes to the fore. Oh my God. It's now done 7,000 miles, so you can tell the miles are creeping up. I'm almost using this as a daily driver at the moment. My plan with this car is to do 100,000 miles in it. I want to drive this car until petrol runs out. I don't want to get too much into a rant about people who don't drive their car. Actually, no, let's get into a rant about people who don't drive their cars. There are still a huge number of delivery mileage GT2 RSs on the market that people are trying to flog for premiums. None of them have been driven. There are GT3 Tourings, none of them have been driven. What is wrong with you people? The Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe, that's going nowhere at the moment. It doesn't get that much driving, admittedly, because when the hell do you find time to drive a 17 or 18 foot long two-door Rolls-Royce? But every single journey is a special event, and just knowing that it's there in the garage for a luxurious adventure makes me smile. It has a whiff of James Bond villain about it. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die, which I absolutely love. It is statesmanlike, it is regal. Sometimes, no matter what other cars you've got, just a Rolls-Royce. There's nothing better, except no substitute for ultimate luxury. I never expected to have a Challenge Stradale, but I've loved every minute of driving it. Recently took it to Scotland. I've done quite a few thousand miles in it. It's now done just over 20,000 miles. And actually, in order to make room for some of the new arrivals, the Challenge Stradale is actually going to leave my garage. So I'm a little bit sad about that, but that one's going to go. Then I've got my classic Land Rover Series 2A. It's one of the sort of real early cars. It's short wheelbase, it's a convertible, just such a brilliant thing. It's just like being in a safari every day that you drive it. It's also like driving around in Jurassic Park. It's clunky, it's archaic, but it's just brilliant. So that's going nowhere. McLaren 675 LT. That car is at the moment going nowhere. It's an absolute track weapon. It just feels like no other car on the roads today. It's an absolute fighter jet. A lot of you have been asking whether I'm going to get a 720S. The answer is absolutely not. That car may be faster, it may be better in every way, but it does not have 1 ounce of the soul of the 675 LT. That car will always be special, and there's at least 3 or 4 Car Guys fans that are looking for them right now who agree with me. I've still got my treasured BMW 750i E38 model. It is a 1996 vintage. It's done now 36,000 miles. It's one of those classic uber well-built BMWs from a certain age that just looks right. I've actually wrapped the car dark metallic blue because I prefer dark colours on that car, but I'm not sure if I want to keep that. I think I might take it back to silver. The only other thing to highlight on the 750 is that I did have a little moment on a motorway late at night and the wing mirror was ripped off on the passenger side. So it's currently got a load of wires hanging out other side. I've still got the Honda Prelude. It's a little bit of a guilty pleasure, that one. I do love driving it. It's very, very relaxing. It's got a decent manual box. It's quite a bit of fun, but I am considering selling that. I think I've had my fun in the Prelude and I think I need the space now to move on. So Prelude will probably go. My 458 Italia, the white one, codename Bianca. That car's done 15,500 miles. I absolutely adore it. I've got no real plans to get rid of it. It doesn't massively make sense that I've got 2 458 cars, and part of what I'm doing at the moment when consolidating down the garage is to perhaps only have very special cars in the collection. The 458 Speciale Aperta, the yellow one with the Rant stripe, that car, if I can possibly help it in the future, obviously you never know what's going to happen in the future, but if I can possibly help it, I will never ever sell that car. I realise it's worth 3 times what I paid for it, but I spec'd it, I collected it from the factory, I've had lots of adventures in it, so I'm going to be keeping that one forever, and I'm not really going to be caring how much miles I put on it. I think it's done about 6,500 now. Probably one of the higher mileage Apertas, but I just don't care, I absolutely love it. Lamborghini Gallardo Valentino Balboni. So this is the 550/2. I think I've had that since 2014. It is an absolute brute of a car. Possibly that one may go in the medium term. I've had a lot of fun in it, but I just do not drive it as much as it should be driven. I may be looking more to move out of Lamborghinis entirely. So unless I can find a mint, beautiful manual LP640, preferably in Verde Draco, that beautiful metallic green, if I could find one of those, then I would get that, and I would maybe keep the Gallardo, and Lamborghini would therefore have a place in the garage. My 911 930, so my turbo from 1989, it's an absolutely exceptional low mileage example of the last year of production of the original 930. It's 5-speed gearbox, which was only made for 1989. It drives like new. So I think the 930 will stay and form the cornerstone of a Porsche collection. I would love some other Porsches in there without a doubt. I would love the new Speedster. No news yet, but it doesn't look good. I would love the new Pista Spider. No news there, but it doesn't look that good. Next to the 930 is my beloved original Honda NSX. Silver car, black roof, manual. That car is phenomenal. I drove it recently up to Caffeine and Machine. It was just beautiful. I love the NSX. I have no plans to ever get rid of that NSX. It is a lovely, lovely car. I've spent quite a bit of money fettling it and making it perfect, and I love it. So that car is definitely going nowhere. Also a car that's going nowhere is my original Ferrari 355 Spider. That was the first supercar I ever bought, so that was my first ever Ferrari. It's in Rosso Corsa with cream leather, the classic 90s combination. It's a manual car. It is the Spider, so fans of rigidity, feel free to make fun of me now, but I think a roof down 355 Spider is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. I've done 30,000 miles in that car, driven it absolutely everywhere. It is phenomenally expensive to maintain. The servicing costs and just parts costs of that car are eye-wateringly expensive. So the 355, even though it's more expensive to maintain than Melania Trump, I'm never selling that car, so it just shows you how much I love it. I've got a brand new Ferrari 488 GTB, beautiful looking car, red with a black roof. I've only done just over 1,000 miles in it, and it was bought somewhat cynically in order to get me graduation to the Pista program. That car will absolutely be sold this year and traded in against another Ferrari, so that one's going to go. Oh, that's a rather lovely bright blue Mustang 5 litre just driven by us. You probably just saw that. Loving your work, sir. Jason is looking to move on and sell the Honda Integra R. What else have we got? Have we missed anything out? What's that? F12 TDF. Yes, of course. You may be surprised to know that that car has stayed in the garage until now. I didn't sell it. The idea was that I would keep it until I got my 812 Superfast, which is on order, and then I would compare the two directly and then decide which one to keep. The problem is that the 812 Superfast has been delayed again and again, and I'm getting a little bit bored of that. So I did post it on social media recently. I am wondering whether to cancel my order on the 812 or the 812, as many of you corrected me. And in terms of the TDF, because it represents such an enormous amount of money, and because I've already done quite a few miles in it, I am seriously considering selling that car. And I know that's going to upset a lot of you. Some of you are not going to give a toss, but I think the F12 is going to have to go at some point. And the reason is because I have some cars incoming that I have not yet paid for and will cost a lot. I'm not going to tell you exactly what all of them are at the moment. One of them I will tell you at the end of this episode. Probably a year ago we had about 20 cars in the collection. I've now whittled that down to 15. So where the hell is my Pista? Well, many of you have been asking this. It was due to be delivered in April, and there's a very, very good reason why it hasn't been, and why I've been a bit quiet about it recently. But I'll tell you what, before I reveal exactly what's happened there, let's go somewhere quieter to discuss it. Okay, so why am I not getting a 488 Pista? After all this waiting, after the spec that I did that you've probably seen, I was so excited And then all of a sudden, just before it was about to be delivered, Ferrari gave me a call. I'm not going to do the accent. They basically said, how would you like to swap your 488 Pista Coupe for a Spider? Obviously, I'd be stupid not to accept a highly collectible, much less numbers built version of the Pista. And because I've already got the 458 Speciale Aperta, it made sense to have also the Pista Spider to match it. So I said yes. Downside of that is I'm not getting the Pista Spider until 2020, although there is a slim chance that maybe they will speed up production and I'll get it at the end of 2019. That's why I don't have a Pista on the drive right now. That's why you haven't seen me driving it, but it does mean that I now have a slot for one of the most exciting and special Pistas that you can get. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, every cloud, etc. So where am I right now? Well, I'm in a pod on the way to Terminal 5 Heathrow, where I'm going to get a flight to Bologna and then over to Maranello and the Ferrari factory to spec my Pista Spider and possibly something else as well. So I hope you enjoyed the update on the Car Guys garage and finding out that we now have a Pista Spider coming. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments and likes. We do massively appreciate it and we read them all. Here I am at Ferrari to spec the new 488 Pista Spider. Join us for the video of that next week.